What is the difference between a contour and a bronzer? This is a contour and this is a bronzer. A contour is a cool tone brown, whereas a bronzer is a warm tone brown. I know that this can get very technical. So in layman terms, think of it like this, that a contour is a grayish brown. It's a very dull, muddy color. And a bronzer is a brighter brown. It's reddish and it is like a chocolate brown. It's more vibrant. So contour has to resemble a shadow, and shadows are usually a little gray. For example, if when I'm smiling, you can see that there is this shadow that is being formed here. It's not brown, it's a little grayish brown. And if I put my hand in front of my face, the shadow that you can see, this is the color that we need to replicate. So, which is why we need a contour to replicate that shade. Do you see that? But a bronzer gives you a very sun-kissed look, almost like you just got a little tanned in the sun, and which is why it's a little reddish brown or like a very rich and vibrant brown. Can you see the difference? This is what a contour would look like and this is what a bronzer would look like. So you use a contour to give yourself a very chiseled look for your bone structure to get accentuated. You basically are creating shadows that don't exist on your face, or in my case, for example, that shadow existed, so I just accentuated it with a contour. If you have a double chin or if you don't have a very sharp jawline, you can always use this contour powder under your jaw and blend it downwards so that it looks like this part is in shadow, and that will automatically make your jawline look sharper. And you can also make your nose look slimmer with a contour. Your contour is a very tricky product because if you apply even a little more than required like this, then your face will start looking muddy because you're putting a very grayish brown color on your face. So from the front angle, this may look fine, but from the side angle, as you can see, it'll look very dirty and muddy, and which is why you need to use a very little amount of this product. So here's what I do. I always contour my face before I do my base makeup, which means कि मैं पहले contour लगाता हूँ and then I put my base makeup, which is foundation, so that अगर contour थोड़ा इधर उधर भी हो गया या थोड़ा dark या muddy भी हो गया, तो foundation will cover most of it and it will look a lot more subtle. I've done my base makeup and the contour has done its job because it's created that shadow, but my face still lacks some vibrancy. You'll notice when you put your foundation all over your face might start losing dimension. It might start looking pale and flat and shapeless. So to bring back that dimension and add some vibrancy, I'm going to use a bronzer at the same place where I use my contour. The only difference is that I'll blend this a little upwards, around the nose a little. Also, if you think you have a big forehead, just bronze the top of your head, blend it into your hairline. Look at how much life this bronzer has brought to my face. I look sun-kissed. Now the question is, do you need a contour and a bronzer both? The answer is that if you have both of them and you use both of them, then great. But if you can only buy one, then I would suggest that you buy a bronzer instead of a contour, because the thing is that contour looks great in videos where you're only seeing me from one angle, but when you see me from the side, if I over contour my face even a little bit, it will look muddy and it will look dirty. And even when you contour and put your foundation on, you still need to put a bronzer. But even if I skipped this contour, I could have still just bronzed my face, or nearly same effect aa jata. Basic funda is that you can use a bronzer without a contour, but you can't really use a contour without a bronzer. So I would say that if you just want to invest in one product, let that be a bronzer. In fact, most of the people only use bronzers in real life. They don't really use contour. In most of my videos also, when I say that I'm contouring my cheeks, I'm actually using a bronzer. So yeah, if there's only one product that you can buy, then let that be a bronzer. And bronzers come in two varieties, a cream bronzer and a powder bronzer. Now the difference is that a cream bronzer is obviously easier to blend, and if you are a beginner, then I would say that you go for a cream bronzer because it will look more natural, it will blend easily. You can always buy a concealer or a foundation in a darker shade and use that as a bronzer. That's what I do. I use this Nykaa foundation stick in the shade 07. But if you're looking for that long lasting effect and if you're looking for a very dramatic bronzy look, then I would say that you go for a powder bronzer. And if you don't want to buy anything, that you can always experiment with some brown eyeshadows and use them as a bronzer and see if that works for you. So yeah, that was it. That was all I had to say. I'm sorry this video is really long, but I really hope that you learned something from it, and I'll see you next time.